Walking up into Vrachar. The topic of tonight's live, how AI will destroy dating for 90% of humanity. The changes that are on the way with AI. This is not hyperbole, this is not a video designed to attract attention. I've spent the last week looking at this very carefully, looking at dating markets across the world, looking at population charts across the world, looking at all sorts of things from male-female ratios to ratios of couples to the amount of girls on OnlyFans to prostitution rates, all of these different elements of the male-female dynamic. Rates of pornography use, right? Even things that you guys wouldn't think of. I've been looking at them. I've been looking at them as well from an econometrics, like an economics point of view, econometrics point of view, and thinking about what is going to happen and also modeling it using AI. So if you're interested in the big picture, stay tuned, listen, because what I'm going to tell you is going to blow your minds, and you're going to want to get ready for some of this stuff. So yeah, I'm Joseph. On this channel I discuss dating, relationships, cold approach, male development. I'm a guy who believes in taking action and maximizing your odds of success in life through self-development, through cold approach, through nighttime approach, through dance approach, through having fantastic wings in your life so your dating life is taken care of. I coach guys in the noble art of cold approach. I've just done a little mini session myself here in Belgrade. I just did 4 approaches here. They're all 2 sets. It's a whole different story, I won't go into it too much. Belgrade is definitely one of the hardest places to do cold approach, for sure. But it's a good place to find a girlfriend though, or a wife, for sure. It's very socially orientated here. Yeah, which makes it more challenging. They're much more skeptical of cold approach. Almost more skeptical than anywhere else I've been, to be honest. But they enjoy it at the same time, which is interesting. But back to the theme at hand, yeah, AI and the future of dating. So yeah, let's consider it, boys. Let's consider it. So first of all, let's just do a quick potted history of the last 30 to 40 years, because we have already seen unprecedented changes in the dating market at an unfathomably rapid rate in the last 50 to 60 years. From the 1960s, where we had the introduction of the pill, meaning very easy contraception, abortion, so basically a get out for pregnancy, a huge increase in female participation in white-collar jobs. Again, so it kind of takes out the potential economic value that a man provides to a woman. So we've got all of these different things that are being unleashed in the female population. You also have a very extreme consumer culture, particularly in the US. Media, lots of things. In the US, a lot of things have gone wrong, unfortunately, but the trend of change has happened across the world. So if you find a girl my age, a millennial, compared to a boomer, the millennial girl, without doubt, will have slept with more guys than the boomer woman. It's probably an order of magnitude. It might even be 10x as many guys. It's not uncommon for millennial girls to have slept with 50 plus guys. It's not uncommon at all. So a lot of changes in the marketplace already. In addition to that, we've not even really got started yet. In addition to that, we have the introduction of telecommunications, phones, then smartphones, BlackBerry, the iPhone, WhatsApp. You can imagine how that changes things, right? You no longer have to call a girl at home. You no longer have to speak to her mom to date her. You know, the younger girls, etc., when you're a teenage boy. In addition to that, you have social media, you have Instagram platform, you have TikTok, and you have the dating apps. So you can't, it's not that there's been one or two changes. It's like in an area of human life, it's not that there's just been one or two changes. It has been raining down an ungodly number of missiles into this area of human existence, right? And it's a key area as well, because if dating and mating doesn't happen, excuse me, I'm just going to get my credit card out, 'cause I'm just going to get something to drink, but if dating and mating doesn't happen, then there is no human race. So, to put it mildly, it's a significant thing. And we have just been raining down the nuclear bomb, Hiroshima times 500, onto the human race, right, through all of these ridiculous changes. And it's changed so fast that certainly the men have just not been able to keep up. And I do not blame them. I do not blame them. How on earth, if I think of my granddad's dating experience compared to mine, how the fuck on earth are guys supposed to go through so many changes so rapidly? And because of my age, 40, I'm in a privileged position of having seen the majority of the telecommunications revolution happen through my life. Yeah, the other stuff from the 60s and 70s that happened before. Yeah, so those effects had already long kicked in. You already had, Spice Girls and girl power and all that type of thing. You already had that. But what you didn't have was the telecommunications, and that kicked in. So I've seen an iteration every 2 to 3 years of some complete revamp in the way that people were dating and mating and meeting, right? So now you have guys online who teach guys how to do Instagram, right? How to pimp your Instagram so you get girls through that. You have guys teaching people how to get TikTok girlfriends. And then you had guys teaching people back in the day club game. I'm sure it still goes on. I've seen guys running offers for workplace game. I don't know really why you would do that, but that's an offer out there. And then obviously there's my channel where I focus on daytime approach. The reason I like daytime approach so much is because of the self-development that brings into your life. Yeah, it kind of gives you this wonderful toolkit that you can use anywhere in the world. And as I'm a nomad, I travel basically year round. It was kind of a must to learn daytime approach. And so the ability to go over to a woman in the day, apropos of nothing, and just make your intentions known to her, or at least give her a compliment, that is increasingly the highest status. It's the highest status act a man can do, because most men nowadays, they just don't have the balls to do it. So I'm out here in Belgrade. The only other person I saw do a cold approach today was a 16-year-old. He used my opener, izvini, which means excuse me. He's the only other guy I saw doing a cold approach tonight. Yeah, good for him. He was with his little mate, and there was some girls there, and they stopped them. So good for them. But I've basically seen nobody else doing it. And I think on my second or third approach tonight, a guy stopped and stared at me afterwards. He wasn't hostile, he was just shocked. He was just genuinely shocked. So it is really the most high status thing. And it kind of just self-confident thing, just display of genuine confidence that you can have in the modern world. So that's why I like it. It's kind of old school, it's kind of romantic as well. So for guys who want to learn that, to have a chance of doing it successfully in the daytime, you do need a bit of training, to be honest. I'm in a mastermind for this with myself and some of the other most aggressive practitioners of this noble art in the world. We do it as a self-development tool. We do it for fun. And we also, there's one or two of us actually teach as well. So we're constantly trading notes. So it's kind of like a level of finesse that I've got in my approach, which is not accessible to most guys, because they haven't put the reps in. But even beyond that, they just don't have the richness of information sources that I have in conjunction with my mastermind, my network of elite guys. So if you're interested in actually finding out more about this, you can get on a call with me. Just go to my website. If this is the way you'd like to meet your future wife, basically let me know. I'm teaching here in Belgrade, also back in the UK as well, in the autumn. So let me know if that's something you're interested in. Also, feel free to, you can also just drop me an email if you just let me know your dating struggles as well, or put in the comments your dating struggles. I'm very, very interested to know what you're struggling with. It's really important to know that. But allow me now to continue with the main theme here, which is artificial intelligence. So we now have a new entrant into the system, right? And the system, by the way, these so-called innovations have already resulted in mass depopulation in the entire Western world. Okay, Japan and Korea's birth rate is around about 0.9, which means for every 100 people born, let's say 30 years ago, they would only have 48 children. And they will only have 25, and they will only have 12. Yeah, so within 3-4 generations, you've got a 90% decrease in population. Basically, your country is unsustainable. And this is a pattern across the whole Western world. Asia's particularly aggressively affected, but the entire Western world is fucked. It's fucked. Nowhere is above 1.6. And even places like the UK, it's propped up around 1.6 at times, but that's mostly because of migrants. It's mostly the migrants having the children. So the native population is probably around 1.2, something like that. So it's cratering at a rate of knots everywhere. And that's mostly because it's a combination of things. It's mostly, though, because of the pill and abortion. There are some big economic factors as well. Total lack of innovation in the Western world, a disgraceful lack of innovation in the last 50 or 60 years. And ironically, the only place, sorry about the wind guys, let's see if I can find somewhere, where's the wind blowing? The only place we have been innovating is telecommunications, which has only further destroyed and disrupted the dating market. It's given some options to some big winners. Yeah, I know this is going to be awful on the audio. It has given some outsized victories to some winners, but overall there's just so many disruptions to cope with. I'm gonna have to I'll walk back to my street around there. Sorry about the wind guys, just stay with me. And so yeah, telecommunications has been the main thing that has changed. And you think, oh, that's a bit harsh, haven't we progressed? Just look around me, right? What about any of this tells you that you're anywhere other than in the 1960s, right? This is Belgrade, it's a modern European capital. Without telecommunications, take out the screens, you're still in the 1960s. At best, you're in the 1980s. Nothing's changed. Yeah? The illusion of progress, we've had actually deprogress. Compared to 1900 to 1960, 1960 to 2020, we've had almost like a halt in progress. And the only thing that's progressed is telecommunications. So much so that people talk about tech as if it's telecommunications, when you should be talking about it in planes, cars, medicine, housing, etc. Telecommunications is one small area of technology. And that's the part that has developed. So we've had all these crazy social changes as a result of it. And as I say, this has had immense effects on the social world. So much so that we now have like serious movements of guys online where they're kind of like, resorting to things like looks maxing, which is understandable. It's basically an act of desperation. They're resorting to the MGTOW lifestyle, which again is understandable, because guys are going, I'm not a fucking Superman. How the fuck am I supposed to participate? You've also got a lot of older women who realize, unfortunately too late, that, they were told the myth of equality. They realized too late their dating value drops very substantially as they get older, very substantially. Honestly, even over anything over 30 realistically, and over 35, over 40 they essentially have no dating value, essentially. It sounds very cruel and harsh. I'm not saying they have no value as a human being, but from a reproductive point of view, as a man, why would you date a 40-year-old woman? You're not going to be able to reproduce with her. If you want to have children, you want to further your lineage, you're going to have all this investment in somebody, your time, energy, money, everything. Why would you do it with someone you couldn't reproduce with and who is physically way past the peak, right? Women do not hold their looks to the same extent that men do, which is why you should date a woman at least somewhat younger than you, 5 to 10 years, something like that. Side point. Yeah, this is not red pill. This is not red pill at all. I'm talking biology. That's all I'm talking. Biology, right? And there's a lot of people have trouble accepting biology. I don't, I don't fantasize. I'm 40 years old. I don't fantasize I'm going to be running in the Olympics next week. Yeah? But I am still fertile, and I will be fertile for the rest of my life. I know guys in their 60s who've had children, multiple children in some cases. Not recommendable, but it can happen. Right? And it's not even difficult, to be honest. I don't know any women in their 60s who've had children. It's impossible. I don't actually even know any women in their 40s who've had children. It's basically impossible. I know a few who've had miscarriages. Yeah. So it is what it is. It is biology. Biology cares nothing about human society, nonsense about corporations and governments and all that stuff, whatever it is, garbage, whatever. Biology doesn't care. Yeah? So that's what I'm talking about. And so women on the back end, on the front end, can be nice. You can have a lot of fun. You've got a lot of attention online. You're free. You can have the pill. You can have abortions. You can do whatever you want to do. Whatever impulse goes your way. And you're kind of sold as well. You're sold many dreams as a woman. You sold a dream of a career, aka a job in an office, working for a corporation that doesn't really give a fuck about you. You're sold the dream of all these products, these amazing glamour products, this amazing fashion, Sex in the City, etc. I mean, really, women have had a number done on them, and I don't see many of them waking up. I don't think they have the analytical ability to fight their way out of it. And the problem is, women also, again, this is not red pill, but human beings in general. But actually, what you find is women are very egotistical, very fragile, egotistical. People talk about male ego, sure, I accept that, but women have also got massive, massive egos. And when it comes to things like their life decisions and so on, it's very rare. You hear a few women come out and say, you know what, I fucking regret wasting my fucking 20s and 30s on nonsense. And now I'm in my fucking 50s. No guy wants to date me who's my age. They want to date women in their 30s, if not in their 20s, if they're single. And the only guys who would date me, they're basically looking for a carer, like guys in their 70s, yeah? And that's the truth. That's the cold fucking truth for the majority of those women. So can be a very tough time for them as well. They were brainwashed. And the women who actually do come out and admit that and say, look, there's been a few. There's a couple of female writers who've looked at it and said, yeah, I look back and I just see a very selfish person. And I've accepted that now. This is a position I'm in. I wasn't thinking forward, and I was kind of drunk on this, the heady independence and so on of the day. So, and I have genuine respect for those women as well, because they're actually coming out and they're saying something that's quite brave. They're going against the whole sisterhood, all the social pressure that's on them, and they're actually having the guts to come out and say, look, I think it's a mistake. I'm going to share my story. And there's hundreds of thousands of women who feel exactly the same way, who would never admit it. So fair play. There's a few female writers and things I'm thinking of. So there's been this massive change, just phenomenal change in society, and it has kind of it's left everything in turmoil. And the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the birth rates. Okay, the divorce rates and the birth rates. Yes, we can all have our own little world, but the big macro picture doesn't lie, and it tells a very clear story. Is that these changes, if you judge family formation and the furthering of human life as something that is perhaps the indicator of the health of a society, or certainly one of the most important, then these changes have been noxious to society, yeah? Utterly noxious. Right, there's a stat of like 1/5 of 20% of Gen Z were aborted or something like that. It may be even more than that, right? And so all these changes, right? Change after change after change after change. And that's the picture of the last 60 years. That's why people like dating coaches came along in the 90s and 2000s, right? They didn't come out of nowhere. They came because there was a market of guys who had no fucking clue what was going on. It's no longer enough just to be a solid guy. You actually need seduction skills, yeah? You know, and now it's like, it's no longer enough to be a solid guy. You need seduction skills, plus social media, plus like a network, plus bratva, plus confidence, plus cold approach. It's just, the requirements have just got even more insane on the buyer side, the male side, right? I'll call the male the buyer side. I'll come back to this in a moment. And so all of these extra demands, that's what's created the dating industry, so to speak. Guys like Neil Strauss, RSD, those were obviously the big names. And there was a huge fertile market for these guys. Whatever people think of them and who they helped, who they didn't help, were they a good influence or not, the market was there and the need was there. Okay, there's a reason the book The Game is one of the biggest selling books, basically, of the noughties. It was vast, massive, biblical fucking selling book, yeah. So this market developed simply as a response, as a male response. The manosphere is simply a male response to all of these changes, right? And that's the history of it. So that's all the context. Thank you for staying with me, guys. Let me just have a quick look. Okay. Noriela Ramirez. Adios. I'll just remove. I'm a complete dictator on this channel. People saying stupid things, I just get them straight off. So now let's talk about AI itself. So this is the next step, and when I look at this, the nail's in the coffin, dude. We're already, I'm sorry to say, this is a guy who's like, I'm the most positive guy, I've just gone out and done a session, right? Tomorrow I'm gonna get up, I'm doing my fucking push-ups, I'm doing my workout, yeah, I'm gonna go hammer the work, and then maybe I'll go to Kasumbra or something tomorrow night. I'm a very positive guy. Yeah, but that's me as an individual. I look around, I look at the streets, no one's doing a damn thing. I go to bars, mostly guys aren't doing that much. In Europe, forget it. The only fucking guys doing anything are migrants, African guys, right? Because they still have that inner flame and that inner freedom inside them. And then the odd guy like me, who just won't fucking quit. But the general picture is one of desolation, and I see the fear in guys' eyes. I see the fear, confusion, and it's mostly just fear. I can see it in people's eyes, and mostly guys are walking around afraid. And the girls are walking around more confident than ever, bullshit, more confident than ever. They've got the run of the place right now. Yeah, it does make me wonder, is it a zero-sum game in society? Who knows? Hopefully not, But right now it looks like a kind of female-dominated situation for the time being, until they get old, you know. This is Serbia anyway. Serbia is like a closet matriarchy, basically. But AI is going to completely, what an absolutely beautiful view this is here. Yeah, AI is going to completely obliterate what is left of the marketplace. So guys are using it on the Instagram and stuff like that. They're posing themselves with a Ferrari and a dog. You don't even need to go to, you can do all the AI stuff on Instagram, sure. That's not really what's going to take people out. What is going to take people out? Porn has already taken people out. That's low key. That's low key taking out 30 to 40% of men, is just pornography. They just don't have the drive, the vicious drive inside them to go out anymore, because there is low resistance, abundant sex available in digital format, and that's good enough. It's easy. It's actually easier than dealing with women. It's vastly easier, yeah? So that's taken already about 30-40% of the guys out, right? It's stigmatized, but what do you expect to happen, right? What do you expect to happen? You give men resistance-free access to infinite sexuality, what are they going to do? They're going to take it, right? Chimpanzees, right? They're going to take it. You give women infinite access to essentially digital attention, what are they going to do? They're going to fucking take it. So the digital era has already smashed a massive number of, it's basically driven apart the sexes already. Now on top of this, you've got this new revolution of AI. And you already have, there's a startup which is an AI friend, which is already, I think it's valued at 100 million, which means it's making 10 million a year already. 10 million a year on $50 a month. So what's the maths there? Let me do the maths there. So 2 people will be $100 a month. 20 people will be $1,000 a month. What's that? Is it 2,000 people? Is it 2,000 people would be, $1 million a month. So basically they've got 20,000 users already on 50,000 a month. That's massive. On $50 a month, they've already got 20,000 users. Yeah. So there you go. We've already got an AI friend that has got 20,000 users making 10 million a month, right? And we are in the absolute beginning stages, the nascent stages of the AI epoch. We are right at the beginning. Do you think that guys are going to have AI girlfriends? Well, they already do. Realistically, they already do. Some women already have AI boyfriends. Yeah? Again, this is already happening. You can train a skilled person, a skilled psychologist. I know that I could train an LLM to be the perfect girlfriend and the perfect boyfriend. They'll be very different, but I could train either, yeah, because I understand both male and female psychology on a fairly deep level, deeper than most people. It's not controversial really for me to say that. That's true. Because I'm willing to look at things that are inconvenient truths, unpleasant truths, but are key, important truths. And so we're already going to have AI boyfriends like in the pipeline. And you go, okay, well, that's not physical though, is it? Yeah, but that's just, the physical element's never going to be there. True. The psychological element though will be significant, because you're going to have a video girl as well. She's going to be on video. She's going to be, hey daddy, how are you? You're looking nice and strong today. Did you sleep well? Yeah, cool. I just made you some breakfast. And how's your work going? Yeah. How things going with that new business idea you're developing with Andrew? Yeah. You're gonna go golf today? Oh, nice. Yeah, you got a 5 over par. Oh my God, you're such a, yeah, right. You know how the girl's gonna talk to you. The converse of that obviously will be for the woman. Hey, what's up, baby? Looking beautiful today. I'm so grateful that you whatever it is, right? Just ridiculous level shit that was gonna nail into the male and female psychology. It's gonna know how to talk dirty to her. It's gonna know how to make her a sub in the sexual context, but then also be all lovey-dovey and protective as well, right? It's gonna be the perfect boyfriend. And you're gonna have them on video, and they're gonna look however the fuck you want already. Yeah, that's imminently on the way. That's on the way. If it doesn't already exist, it could already exist, and it will be widespread within probably a year or two. Yeah, if not less. Probably we're talking 3 months, 6 months, that stuff could start to have an impact. Right? What do you think people are going to turn to? It's like an overweight woman in her 40s. What is her best option in the actual marketplace? Yeah? A fucking 60-year-old guy with a beard gut who smokes cigarettes. She can either have him or she can have Antonio. Yeah? The sexy Latin lover who understands her feelings better than any real man she's ever met. Yeah? And what is the average guy, or the guy who's 40 pounds overweight, that same trucker, the 60-year-old trucker smoking a cigarette, what's he gonna want? Yeah, is he gonna want Glennis, a fucking fat bint from Barnsley, which is his best option in the real world, or is he gonna want Cassandra, yeah, the beautiful LLM who is fitter than any girl he's ever seen, yeah, who worships him, he can even have some kind of digital pornographic sex with, where he uploads his own photos. He can watch himself having sex with her. What's going to be a more fulfilling interaction for him? Like, realistically, yeah, for both of those people, AI is going to be a superior option, and it's going to be so superior to what is available to them in the real world. They are going to lose interest in the real world. Guys lose interest in the real world through computer games, right? Imagine an actual fucking, like a girlfriend who's better than any girlfriend you've ever had, and she's just there on screen. Okay, that's the first step. So that is imminent, and it's on its way now, basically. It's happening already. I don't know the details, but the technology is already there. So that can already happen. And that's the next 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. It's just a question of how long it takes for it to become socially normalized, certainly within the next 5 years. 5 years' time, it's going to be normal. Right? It's going to be normal. But we've not even touched on the physical yet. Now let's start to look at combining AI with existing sex toys. So that could be the dildos, the fucking rampant rabbit. It could be the fleshlights. Already, they could potentially combine with AI very, very easily. Yeah, big screen, give you an immersive experience, right? What's that going to do to your brain? Huh? Yeah, you're starting to get the picture. Then let's look at the dolls. Let's look at the dolls. Yeah, animatronics. You've been following these dolls? Yeah, probably not. But I've been looking this week at what's available in animatronics. It's starting to get pretty interesting already. You have very, very interactive women who they're going to be sold as maids initially. Like, let's be real. If they've got a moving fucking hand, we know what's going to happen to them, right? They're going to become sex dolls. You combine a sex doll with an LLM. I mean, I'll have to be honest, I would be fucking tempted. Let's say it costs you 10 grand. Yeah, and it's like $50 a month for the LLM and it's 10 grand for the doll. Like, you never have to worry about sex ever again, and you have sex with one of the most attractive, with like your perfect fantasy of a woman, right? Yeah, I would be tempted as a backup, right? Yeah, you know, and this is the effect of this, right? That is going to wipe out prostitution. Prostitution at a base layer is going to be completely wiped off the face of the planet, because why would you go and pay $200 to fuck a woman who obviously resents you, who's got a stony dead face, which is even worse than a robot, who you could get an STD off, and who's unpredictable, and you know, like she doesn't desire you at all? Why are you going to go pay $200 to $500? Two is obviously is on the cheap end, right? So they're going to get wiped off the face of the planet. Yeah. If you're a guy, like a guy in his 40s, he's already accepted his fate. He knows this is his life, right? He's fucking prostitutes, right? In a couple of years, that investment has already paid for itself. Yeah, they get financing options and stuff. You pay 100 quid a month, and then you own the sex doll, right? That's on the way, dude. That's on the way. And there's stuff like the fleshlight and things like that. That could already happen. So the way this is going to look back at this video in like 2-3 years time. I'm going to make a full developed video on this, where I look into this in more depth, in a more formal way. But that is going to happen. Yeah, it's if porn has already done what it's done to society, if apps have already done what they've done, there's just no way a technology that satisfies these needs in so much more of a physical, psychological, and powerful way, in a way that is perhaps even above what anything but the best premium girl could actually deliver to you. I'm sorry, it's going to take out, I don't know what percentage of the male population it's going to take. It's going to be absolutely vast. It's going to be vast. Unless they get regulated, unless they actually are illegal, that's actually, I think it's possible that they could be illegal. It's actually possible that could be the case, because we could look at it. It's kind of like, this is something that's beyond even Luddites, where you're going, this will take out what is left of an already struggling reproduction market. This is going to take, it's taking everybody out, dude. And at that point, you know, guys like me, guys who are going out preaching the word of cold approach, going out practicing cold approach, dude, like I'm already a fossil out here. I want the next generations to come through, and every young guy who comes through, it's like, yes, we've got another one on the team human, yeah, team natural man. This is what I want. But I'm fully aware, and I'm increasingly aware, that the average man will never, ever go on the type of journey that like myself and my friends have been on. And frankly, I don't even blame them. Because it's an extremely tough journey. I don't offer you comfort. I don't offer you ease. I offer you a real result and a skill that develops you both socially and professionally and mentally and emotionally. But I don't offer you an easy route. It's easier with me than it will be with practically anybody else. But it still requires the input energy from you. And I know that most guys are going to go, even if it's quite expensive to get one of these robot dolls, I know the way it's going to go. It's going to go this way. It's going to go this way. Yeah, it's amazing how natural AIs are, how good AIs are at natural conversation. You can probably design the dolls according, you can design the dolls according to your preference. So, you know, the most absurd kind of sexual appearance is going to be possible with these dolls. It's the type of girl that most men, realistically in their life, they never get access to unless they pay for it. It's kind of sad fact. Because someone like Bill Gates, you know, Bill Gates, richest guy in the world, do you think he's ever actually fucked even a girl who's even an 8 without paying for it? I'd say he peaks out at 7, and that's probably because of his status and wealth. Yep. Never mind 9s and 10s, just forget it. Yeah, he has no sexual charisma at all. Someone like Musk is different because he's actually charismatic. He's a good-looking guy as well. He's a, you know, daring guy as well. But he got girls and stuff when he was in university. But a guy like Gates, you know, and that's one of the richest guys in the world. So imagine your average guy, man. They're gonna go for it. They're already spending their time online anyway. They're already spending their time on porn anyway. And this need for sexuality, because it is a need, men need sexuality, is going to be satisfied without the use of women. And then the final step in this future world would be the development of artificial wombs. That actually would be the final step. And if that happens and you can gestate a child, let's say for 20 grand or 30 grand, without even a human female involved, you will see a almost complete decoupling of the sexes. And it will mostly be religious communities and like the odd kind of old school people who will preserve traditional relationships. But you'll see some mad things happening. And it's a shame because like we're innovating, you know, tech, IT. We're innovating now with AI, and AI is currently the only area of real innovation. Biotech's doing little bits, weaponry is doing little bits, but again, just look around me right now, right? I'm in a park here, central Belgrade. Got a little parks, look at the buildings, the cars, facilities here. Is there anything even remotely futuristic about this? Is there anything that really tells you we're in 2026 here? You know, those buildings, some of them look like they were built in the 60s, right? And this is the great illusion of modernity, that we think we're in this advanced time. We're not. The main changes due to IT have been wreaked upon the human entity itself. But if you look at the actual surroundings you're in, they are actually pretty similar in most ways to like the 80s. Into the 80s in basically all ways. Look at a supermarket. I remember going to the supermarket in the 90s when I was a kid. They're exactly the same. Maybe you have self-checkout now. Nothing else has changed. Cars are basically the same. They look a little bit less charismatic now. They look a little bit more bubblish now. Like there's obviously some new manufacturing way that they smooth things over. So the rate of progress that we saw from 1900 to 1960 is completely slowed down to basically nothing in most fields, and with the one exception of information technology and to some extent weaponry and stuff as well, but IT being the big growth area, but precisely because it's a relatively inconsequential area. You know, like if you had revolutionary housing that was like cost £10 to put up like a 4-story house, it was like some atomic thing, right? If you had that type of tech completely revolutionize like how humans exist, right? Or we had, you know, the robots and stuff, the animatronics, that's on the way, but it's taken its fucking time. Yeah, I've been waiting for a robot for 20 years. I've been wanting a robot for 20 fucking years. Yeah, it takes me ages to clean my fucking house. I'll be straight. Whoever produces the first robo slave, I will buy it immediately. Yeah, fucking immediately. So yeah, there's been a lot of promise in tech, but actually, if you look at really what's been delivered in the last 60 years, it's a substantial decrease on we think where we were in the 60s compared to 1900. It's a different planet. Yeah, and that rate of progress has substantially decreased. There's different theories about that. I'm not going to go into that because this is not a specifically broad technology video. There's a lot of interesting theories about why that happened, but it definitely did. And information technology is now known as tech, but it's not. It's information technology. It's one very small segment of technology, but it has led us through its innovation to AI. And AI now can actually come back into the real world, and some of these apps have come back into the real world as well and affected not so much the physical world, but the human being itself, our attention spans, where our attention is, our sexual drive, our libido, our sense of self, our sense of self-worth. All of these things have been affected by the apps and by media and by AI as well. That's next up. So yeah, it is actually a chaotic picture ahead. It's a chaotic picture ahead, and I think some of the countries are they can regulate more easily. They will regulate, and it'll be interesting to see who moves first there, and who runs the full experiment to its full course. Hopefully America is a full experimental hub of the world. I think America will run it to its full fucking course. Shit will get completely fucking deranged out there. I think the only people who will survive will be like the Mormons, basically. The Mormons, the religious, the Protestants, the evangelicals and so on. They'll survive. But everyone else is fucked, dude. So that's dating in the era of the AI singularity. Having a girlfriend, a real IRL girlfriend, will be a status flex in of itself. Having an in real life girlfriend that you met in daytime approach or in some kind of real world approach, even social or a club, but especially daytime approach, it will be mythical, dude. You'll probably be going on talk shows, yeah? Oprah's rebooted consciousness will be interviewing you, right, about your cold approach. So yeah, it's gonna get absolutely fucking demented. It's gonna get absolutely demented. But yeah, real women will become a status symbol. They will. Interesting world. And in that same world, you're also going to have groups like the Taliban, yeah? They're going to probably keep going as well. You have all these completely religious nutcase communities that will still continue on, yeah? It is kind of interesting. The developing world's going to be coming into the developed worlds, and they will bring some energy into it. Some of it, we obviously know, some of it's not the great, some of it's not very good energy, but overall, there will be energy brought in, and there is no energy, unfortunately, now in the developed world, because there's no innovation happening outside of the US. So, yeah, can we reboot innovation? I hope so. I fucking hope so. The scary thing is most of the politicians in Europe, they don't know that innovation is the only solution to move forward. Otherwise it becomes a zero-sum game, and this is why politics is getting crazy, because people know you're going to have to fight over stuff. You have to fight over existing stuff, because you're not going to make anything new. It's going to make anyone's life any easier. So you're going to go back into the Marxist, class conflict. That's the way things are going if we don't innovate. We're trying to spread economic growth across massive migrant populations who can come in and work for Uber and Amazon. It's a very, very primitive plan, and if you can believe this is what these people are doing, they're actually doing that. It's not a joke either. That's actually what they're doing. That's their plan, in Europe. At least the US does have a dynamic plan, especially in AI. It's leading the fucking race there. At least it's making a go of innovation, and it's fucking pulled the rest of the world along for the last 40 years. If it wasn't for the screens, if I wasn't on this live right now, and I wasn't doing my online business and stuff, and I was just on holiday here in the former Yugoslavia, Serbia, I'd be walking around and it would be exactly the same as my childhood in the UK in the 90s, which is part of the charm, but it would be exactly the same. And even back in the UK, it would be exactly the fucking same. Yeah, your toilet's fucked. Yeah, you've got to call a plumber. It's fucked. Yeah, the fridge is fucked. Oh, the lights won't work. Yeah, taps fucked. It's all this. Nothing has actually developed. Yeah, in the last 40 to 50 to 60 years. Yeah. So, apart from information technology, but interestingly, AI is this little runaway little genie, which has the ability to circle back round and come back into the real world, and affect the real world. And so yeah, it will take out massive swathes of the population. It will take out prostitution. I would say only really elite prostitutes that are quite expensive and super hot, they'll still have some value. But if you can go to and you'll also have, by the way, you'll also have rental robots as well. That'll be another thing as well. If you don't want to invest in your own, you'll have rental robots as well. But why would you go to a prosty when you could have your own private, sex nympho? Yeah, and it was actually realistic as well, and it had psychological gifts, right? Why would you actually go to prostitute and risk all of those things, right, that come in touch with that for a girl who's not even very fit, who doesn't even want you? You wouldn't do it, right? She can't even provide the illusion that she wants you, right? You wouldn't do it. So those markets, actually, I'm glad. It's, I think it's a problem that's better solved, frankly, mechanically, and with technology. I'd prefer it to be solved like that than with real whores, to be honest with you. Prostitution is just an awful deal for everybody, in my opinion. It's something I think about, as a coach, can guys getting their needs met in this way? I'm actually less of a moralizer about it. I'd like guys to develop, but I also understand this is a need. The reason why OnlyFans and YouPorn and all Pornhub and these prostitutes, the reason they all exist, and there's no fucking guys out there doing cold approach, is because the requirements to even do an approach are much higher than, 5,000x as high as it is to click on pornography, right? And even to go to a prostitute, it does actually require a little bit of sinfulness. It actually does require a little bit of an escapade. But even that is less than, it's more guaranteed for less effort, right? So I know that there's just going to be a mass of the population quite possibly the 90% that is going to take this option. I am realistic about that. So yeah, that is the way things are going. Resist, my brothers. The way I'm going to run things is to have like I'm going to have my resistance, my friends. I've got plans. Yeah, this. I'm going to fight this demon, right? I'm going to fight this world, and I'll just be like, me and my guys will just be like the Jedis of this new world, right? In this arena. But I know that 90 to 95% of humanity is going to get taken up on this. There is nothing I can do about that. But if you want to be part of the resistance, you want to be the guy who's going around with the bad ski, you know, keep tuning in, keep learning. I'll say I teach daytime cold approach. It's an amazing skill. It's a skill you can use anywhere. And I also, with the guys I work with, I also give them a 3-month supervision as well. So we also work on your social life as well. So I don't want guys to be complete cold approach freaks. That's not a good idea. The best way to use this is to develop a really good social life and then do cold approach about once a week, once, twice a week, just as a little 30-minute exercise. That's if you're a civilian. Yeah, if you're actually coaching, I expect you to essentially crucify yourself to the skill of cold approach, as I have done, as the guys I've respected have done. I'm more or less at the end of my own personal journey now with cold approach. Like the session I just did tonight, I said to my mastermind, I was like, yeah, there was nothing I learned in that session. It was just a session, burnt a lot of energy. And there's nothing I actually learned there. Yeah, it's so for me now, doing solo sessions, there's just really no point, to be honest. I'm so overpowered in the skill. That doesn't mean I always succeed, but it's like, I know how you could play a perfect game of chess and lose, or you could play a perfect, like say, hand in poker and you lose. Yeah, just because the other guy's got a better hand, or the game was an impossible game to win. But it's really about how well you're able to play that hand. And for me now, I can legitimately play the right hand in almost any situation. If I make mistakes, I know what I've done wrong. Yeah, it's just I've just put in so much time under tension. So if you come to work with me, you will get some Jedi-like fucking tips that you'll apply. You go, wait, that fucking worked straight away. Oh my god! Like, yeah, dude. Imagine how much blood has gone onto the floor to find that out. Imagine how many times I had to fail to find that out. It's the only people who know what I put into this is me and that guy. We're the only people who know the actual depth of pain that I've gone through. Yeah, which is why when you see my infields, it's not to put too fine a point on it, but even very, very extremely good guys, and I'm talking the best guys in the world at this particular skill, even they watch my infields and recommend them to each other, because it's like, Joseph definitely, he's got some motherfucking skills in this area. So go watch the infields, especially if you're a guy over 30, 40, 50, the kind of older guy approach, coming in with a slightly different energy. You will definitely find my infields to be something you can probably quite easily replicate, or not easily, but it'll be more of a model to replicate probably than a 25-year-old's, because different energy levels, different stages of life. So if you're in your 30s and 40s, go check out some of my infields. And I mean, all I can say is that this skill has changed my life. It's an amazing thing to add to the arsenal. And I kind of feel like I've honestly completed the game at this point. Now it's really just a question of settling down, to be honest. For me now, it is what it is, or settling down, or just building up the next castle, building up the army. Because I've done club approach since I was 15. I've been a club promoter. I've run around with a big wolf pack of guys, having loads of fun, partying. I've done daytime approach all over the world, from Brazil to Bosnia, from Istanbul to Santo Domingo, from North Macedonia to Barcelona. I have done it in Colombia, UK, right, all over the place, in completely different cultures, completely different territories. A lot of it solo, some of it with wings. So there's basically very little you're going to see. Realistically, there's nothing you're going to see that I've not seen, realistically. So if it's something you want to learn, you want to embark upon this self-development journey, feel free to give me a call. And yeah, if you want to work with me, you want to learn this shit, you want to become part of the top. When I did the modeling with with an LLM with Gemini. I was talking about the number of guys who watch porn, related to the number of guys who go to prostitutes, related to the number of guys who are doing cold approach. And based on what I see when I go out here in Belgrade, which is me and maximum of 1 or 2 other people doing cold approach, so 3 in a city of 1.2 million on a Friday night, we're basically, Gemini said we're statistically insignificant, meaning we're basically genies, we're basically myths, yeah? We're not even the top 0.1%, we're the top 0.0001%. We're mythological creatures, right? If you would like to join me and my fellow phoenixes on this mythological journey, and you just know there's something inside you that says, I can't accept the bullshit. I want to be free. I want to be fucking free to express myself to women, and I want to get a girlfriend in real life. I want to tell my son, I fucking met your badsky mother. This is how I met her. I met her on the streets of Moscow, or I met her, like one of the guys who contacted me said he met his girlfriend outside the opera, or like a guy here that I worked with who met his girlfriend just down here in the streets of Belgrade, or guys who meet girls at festivals, right? You want to have that incredible origin story. Like, I've met girlfriends in the fucking colonial zone, Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo, in front of literally in front of Christopher Columbus's house, literally, yeah? Incredible origin stories that will live in my family lineage or your family lineage for decades, centuries even, right? And you want to step in to be the guy who is so completely differentiated from everybody else. It's kind of like, well, we must, when people see that, when actually people see the type of balls you got, and it's like, oh, all right, okay, like, it does command something. It commands some kind of respect and jealousy, but also respect. If that's you and you know that's what you want to do, it's the type of guy you want to be, yeah, these are the guys I'm looking for. These are the guys I'm looking for. And for the rest of you guys, what else can I offer? What else can I offer? Work on your social circle. If you're not ready for cold approach for the time being, work on your social circle. I would also say go get yourself down to salsa, bachata, kizomba. Bachata and kizomba, I'll prefer. Those are the best two. Work on your social skills and develop that in real life persona. Watch my videos. Develop yourself, boys. I want to see men confident. I want to restore some confidence into men, because I think a lot of guys have lost it. I see it obviously in people's eyes. I can just see it when they're walking around, you know. That's why I come on these lives relentlessly, yeah. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, do subscribe. I'm on my way to 1,000 subscribers. Even though I already do client work with the kind of secret society of guys who come across my channel, and some guys who know about me through other channels as well. I do want to grow this channel for sure, and so we're on the way to 1,000. So make sure you get yourself subscribed. If you are new, welcome, and you can look forward to future goodies. There's a great what's going on here? There's a great infield that's going to be coming through, if I may be so bold as to say so myself, in a couple of days' time. So look out for that infield as well. I'm just back at this fucking vending machine here, boys, fighting with a vending machine. Don't tell me my card's run down. Don't do this to me. Did we get it? We've got it. Yeah, I've not been taken out yet by the Serbian government. So yeah, any questions, boys? I can see there's a few people watching. Hopefully this live gets a few views. Feel free to share this as well, or feel free to run it. Feel free to take the script. You can get the script of the live, run it through AI, and give yourself a summary. And this is Joseph's take on the future of the dating market, the AI world. I'm gonna do a more formal video on this when I get back into the UK. Get some better equipment, but for the time being, why not just discuss these topics when they're in front of the mind like this? I just want to get the information out there. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the live, guys. As I say, subscribe. It definitely helps. It helps me. Once I get to the 1,000 mark, I'll be starting to reach out to other channels, adjacent channels, so that we can get some conversation going, so that my analysis and practice are able to spread. Because currently, I have to blow my own trumpet here, but the quality of the product and service that I have and the uniqueness of it, coupled with a in-depth analysis, is not something that is widely available. Certainly not in the manosphere. If I may be so bold to say, I don't think there is anybody out there who can match me on both angles. I think there's some fucking spectacular people out there in my network, but they kind of have a different approach to things, right? They have their own flavor on things, right? And as guys, you've probably seen them on channel, I genuinely have massive respect for. I think have completely unique voices in this space. But the specifics that I'm bringing to bear, this kind of global cultural analysis combined with very aggressive real life infields, it is a wild combination that not many people have got. So yeah, if I can blow my own trumpet there, I'm happy to do that. So boys, I will leave things there. Take it easy, and I'll catch you boys in the next one.